Hi there and welcome to Techopia. Thank you very much for joining us. If you don't know this by now, make sure you join us every Monday and Wednesday for some live broadcasts as we share with you a variety of amazing entrepreneurs and the amazing things that they're doing. Now, as we already know, life is becoming increasingly more hectic, and our current guest that is here today have managed to raise over 1.3 million to help take mental health to the smartphone. Now, here with me today, President, CEO, founder of SnapClarity, Terry Story. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for asking me.
Terry, so let's talk a little bit about SnapClarity. And before we get into the app as well, let's talk a little bit about, you owning your own mental health facility and how that process has helped and guided you and maybe motivated you to start this software application for people to use on their smartphones.
Sure. So I've been in this space like now 20 years as an entrepreneur in the mental health space. And so we saw lots of barriers to care, meaning like people waiting 12 to 18 months to receive services. So part of the evolution of SnapClarity, I tell people, was that I created a bricks and mortar, I think about now 2.5 years ago. And we needed to do some validation. And part of our goal then was to take out the challenges to receiving care, meaning that we wanted to improve patient data. So our research told us, and when we talked to people, they were saying like every time I go somewhere different, I have to start at ground zero. So we're like, okay, well, let's fix this. And if you're familiar with like just healthcare in general, and the EMR records, it's really difficult to actually share data.
Yes.
So we wanted to improve that. The second one was just access, getting the help when you need it at the right moment. And the third one was actually the experience. So is meaning that on your first appointment, that if you had high anxiety, was I seeing somebody who actually could deal with my issue without wasting money? So that was the basis of it. So we created a bricks and mortar that had psychiatry, that also had therapists. But the way that you got into the center wasn't just to like go online and book with a therapist or call up. You actually had to do a triage process that we called it. And that was the evolution of our mental health assessment. So people would come in, do our mental health assessment that's based on 13 psychological disorders. And it was medically backed. So this is like something that's not new. These are like screeners that exist already out there. And we just had people like fill that out, and we learned a lot about the assessment. Did it work? Were we able to speed up a process? Which we were. We were able to have 1,000 people come through the system, protect psychiatry skills. So you didn't call up and go to psychiatry. You actually had to fill out the assessment. The assessment gave us a roadmap that would give us a treatment plan based in self-help, so telling what the person could do on their own. Second one was psychosocial options, meaning what kind of therapist should you see or what should you be receiving. And the third one was pharmacology, meaning that if you were high anxiety, you would get a list of medications that you should take and that you could share with your GP, because we know 70% of GPs are treating mental health in the system, and that they just aren't specialists, right? So if we can give them a piece of paper proving patient data, they can then give you better roadmap or better medication to actually support that if that's what you require. So that was the evolution, right? So after we validated that, we were also using an MVP with the text model of SnapClarity, meaning that if I had to go to investors, telling them about FaceTime or live video, people could get that, but actually text messaging to receive therapy was unknown. So we tested that in the center with 100 clients and showed daily usage, that data points, and it was fabulous. And then now we've built a full product. Right?
That's
We're
amazing.
done. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that was the evolution of it, right?
That's amazing. So it's interesting. It's the Old Testament of actually just going back to your clients and getting their feedback, and then how you have just made the process better, and now you've taken it to the next step.
For sure, we just changed the process. And I tell people, and we're all about the user experience, even with our full product now, right? Our users will tell us, because we're disrupting a few of the models around the traditional bricks and mortar, around time. For example, right now in the traditional mortar, you'll have 60 minutes, where now you still book in at 60 minutes, but you can use that 60 minutes, 10 minutes a day.
Awesome.
Right, we're just optimizing the money that you're spending on it, right, to get better services.
Yes, that's amazing. So more targeted, more focused.
For sure.
Yes. Right? So that gives us an idea of how SnapClarity works. So let's exactly evolved and somewhat works. So maybe we can dive into a little bit. How does it exactly work?
So how it works is that as a user, you onboard. and then you fill out a mental health assessment. It takes anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. Immediately you're given a treatment plan that I talked about that gives you a roadmap of what to do. And then we base that assessment on, and we match you to the skill set you need. So we match you to a therapist right away that says, hey, welcome, you're matched with this person based on some algorithms. And then you can start using text messaging, and you can start booking in time for video.
Okay.
So it's a simple way of using that, right?
Wow, that's kind of dumbing it down, but that's kind of how it needs to be.
For
It needs
sure.
to be that simple,
That simple,
for someone
right?
to understand. So, wow, that's pretty spectacular. So, and maybe you can explain to me a little bit now. I mean, dealing with individuals going through mental health, I think it's a big step knowing that you need help.
Yes.
And
Yep.
then I guess obviously then getting help, and then obviously getting the right help, yes? So,
You said it, right? Like, you need the right help, right?
yes.
Yeah.
So how do you see, SnapClarity kind of trying to encourage individuals that might be dealing with mental health and don't know it just yet, or is afraid, or there's a stigma surrounding it, maybe I don't need this help, but maybe I do. How do you approach that maybe?
So for sure, I think the great thing about if you look at SnapClarity is we're also, part of my vision is just people getting good quality mental health.
Correct.
So the people that we partner with, the people that we work with have to align with that mission. So I think, again, it's about, if you look at our branding too and how we've done it, we're just about having fun, right? People make mental health really serious and negative and dungy. We made it like it's everybody's problem. We're all in this together. We all deserve better,
Yes.
right? And part of SnapClarity is for the common mental health, right? We're not getting into tertiary, meaning hospitals. They do
Yes.
that well. So it's like giving this, like, because it's such a high priority cost. It's like a $51 billion economic problem.
Wow.
The Canadian government's spending, what, $7,000 per person on mental health here in Canada.
Wow.
So it's a high priority cost that we need some solutions to. And it's getting the everyday person being able to have access to supports when they need it and being able to optimize it, right? So I think that's, for us, was part of creating that brand and working with great partners. And I think part of our market strategy was like, you follow the money, right? I'm like a startup that we didn't raise $10 million for marketing dollars.
Yes.
To go directly to consumer. So we look and feel consumer, but we went B2B right now because we also believe that employers are in the best position to help us solve
Yes.
this. Because you have insurance benefits. 75% of Canadians have access to that. And so it's working within that benefits to say, offer better benefits.
Yes.
Right? And I think CEOs in a position now to say, like, I'm done with this high operating cost. I don't know how to solve it yet, but
Yes.
I'm done spending the money on what I'm spending on my current benefit package,
Yes.
right? And I think we've all heard that insurance is ready to be disrupted, and they need to start offering us plans that actually make sense and service our people well.
Yeah. Catered plans that actually make sense for the
sure, makes
individuals.
sense.
Yes.
Right? If mental health is one of the 70% of disability costs, then give people help. That's just simple. Give them therapy. You don't need all these wellness tools.
Yes.
Just give people access to licensed therapists or coaches, right? With some like self-help tools,
Yes.
right? It's that simple. We don't need to get any more complicated than that, right?
No, and I love the fact that you've made it so simple, and I think the fact that it's on your mobile phone and so accessible.
Yes.
Someone that has been a little bit hesitant in asking that question or getting treatment, or now maybe they'll be, oh, well, I can do this in the privacy of my own home and kind of get the answers that I need and get the support that I need and move things forward. So I think that's a wonderful aspect of all of this.
Yeah, I think we offer the free mental health assessment, so anyone that uses the app can actually get on and use this assessment. Is that I feel like empowering people. Mental health has been like, hear no evil, see no evil, right? So it's like, now people can just get on, and it's like, you're not going to find out something you don't already know, but it's going to help you, empower you to become your own navigator
I love that.
for the end outcome, right? And we can actually measure outcomes from that
Exactly.
assessment.
Now, here's the exciting thing also, of course, going through, just the whole app development and creation and process. Any company that's gone in any type of app development, especially even in a realm where you are at, and now you're moving on to the App Store, and you're out there with. I know, this is exciting.
Oh yeah. That was like, should we open a champagne? Yeah, for sure. When the app said you've been approved for the App Store, it was a huge milestone. For us,
the fact that you've been approved, so that is a big plus, and it means that obviously you've gone through all the due diligence and everything's in place. But now there is all these. It's a multitude of apps out there. I mean, maybe how do you see yourself kind of trying to position yourself there? You already are different, but how do you see yourself positioning yourself a little bit different to stand out from all these
Well, I think
random
the
applications out there?
difference, what's great is right now I'm in a really great time with a women CEO of a tech company, right? Like it's like, right, everyone's like, oh, talk to me about this, right? I think at the end of the day, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a salesperson.
Yes.
So as we were building product, I also had to I just now wasn't CEO of a mental health facility. I actually now a woman at CEO of a tech company. I had to go learn tech.
Yes.
And I learned a lot about tech,
Yes,
right? Because
of
I'm
course.
gonna telling app guys what and how to build this and what I wanted and how I had to get it to where we are now, right? So I think that was part of this journey, right? Was learning more tech, learning how to run a SaaS company, and having mentors around me that actually were like, how do you get to this level? How do you brand? What do you do well? And actually following companies that have actually done this well.
Yeah.
Very different from a bricks and mortar, right? Of a SaaS company and how you build a brand and how you build a company that's like around you. So I think that's the key, right? And we weren't just solely focused on product. We're also focused, we're salespeople. Gotta go and sell this, right? And so it's all of it. So it's not just the CEO tier. It's right, your team is like right along with you, and we keep our priorities very clear, try not to get off. And I was given a lot of golden nuggets, I tell people at the beginning, that I could have taken some like easier pathways. And I chose to stay aligned with our mission. So that was the most important thing, was that we believe in good quality mental health. So we're not going to sell ourselves short. It doesn't matter what they hang in front of us. They align with the right strategic partners to deliver that.
Absolutely, and I think that's wonderful because it's clear in your conversation to thus far saying that we have a strategy and how we're going to roll this out and who we want to approach, and having the app at least accessible, that's the most important aspect. But how we actually going to roll that out, we have a specific market that we want to focus on, and how we can help those employers help their employees. So I mean, there's many ways that you can just grow and expand on that.
For sure, and I think part of some of the lessons that we've learned is that there's so many products, and everybody wants usability, and everybody wants this user experience. So that is an important part of our team. So even as we're hiring or building onto our team, is that they've got to have that same mission, right? So we're getting traction. There's no doubt, right? So it's about the fact that we do that correct, not too fast, that we make sure that the product is working well before we get to this huge scalability, right?
Yes.
And keeping mentors around us who's gone through that position, right? And it's not always about my vision. At the beginning, definitely it was, but you pivot. I tell people you got to be really agile and pivot very quickly, and what's going to happen, and what you learn of what people want is very different from what your intuition or what your vision could be. So I think we stay our ears close to what the user experience is all about and what they need.
Well, this is exactly what this whole realm is about, is being better listeners. And mental health is being able to listen to people and being able to hear what they want and how and what they want, and kind of moving forward from there.
For sure, we didn't build some features just because we were like, we're going to learn.
Yeah.
Why spend the money now? We're going to we'll learn what to see, and then we'll figure that out as we kind of go.
Understood.
And you build a team that's really cool about that, right? We just solve problems quickly if we have to. But it's just hey, we got this. Okay, let's do it this way, right? So much fun, right?
I know. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Congratulations on what you are doing with SnapClarity. We are excited to see where it goes. I'm sure it's not just going to disrupt a variety of individuals, companies, and industries, but it's also going to be that support system that so many individuals need and require, and that is a powerful aspect. So a little bit of both. So thank you so much for that.
Awesome, thank you.
And congratulations. So for those of you that's watching this, we had the CEO, President, Founder of SnapClarity, Terry Story. I did that right?
You did it right.
Yes. Of SnapClarity joined me today. So make sure you check out a little bit more online. Go check out their app. It'll be on the App Store soon enough, and of course an opportunity for you to engage with them and get involved. And thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you check out techopia.ca for more information, and we'll see you next time here on Techopia Live. Bye for now.